Hello everybody, so today me and some of my friends and my sister are planning on doing a 48-hour readathon. So we're starting today. I'm actually starting a little bit later than I wanted to. It's 12:15 now, so by the time I start it will probably be more like 12:30, but we're all starting at different times and we're going to be embarking upon a 48-hour readathon, which are my favorites. 48 hours spread across 3 days, just my idea of such a good time. I feel like I can be more productive. I feel like I can really get into it and enjoy it. I'm going to start today and finish at the same time on Thursday and be reading the whole of Wednesday, apart from when I have my dance class in the evening, which will take up like an hour and a half, so that will be a nice little break. But yeah, other than that, the plan is just to read. And here is my kind of tentative TBR. Some of these are books that I've started and really want to finish, and the others are just kind of shorter books that I would really love to read at the moment. So it's definitely a tentative TBR. I don't know if I'm going to be reading all of these. It would be nice to, but to be honest with you, I'm going to do this one like I do most of my readathons. Whatever takes my fancy is what I'm going to be reading. And yeah, before I get into it, I just wanted to say thank you for all the love on my last video, on my Christmas vlog. All of your comments were so nice. It's been so lovely to get back into properly vlogging, and I had such a good time making that vlog despite how left Christmas went. Yeah, it was so fun, and I hope that this week and next week I'll be able to do similar things. I've already started kind of a weekly / 2 weekly vlog where I went to a Korean exhibition at the V&A. Hopefully that will be coming out next week. I am so excited to just be starting a new fresh year of reading and just a clean slate. I've already read 2 books this year, so yeah, I'm really excited to see what the year brings, and hopefully some of these books are really good. So these 3 are books that I've already started last year that I want to continue. So Open Water, I've only got a little bit of it left. I think I'm over 2/3 of the way through, so I'd love to finish this because Caleb Azuma Nelson's new book is coming out later in the year, so I'd love to finish this book before picking up that next one. I also started reading Letters to a Young Poet in my last vlog, and I would love to finish this one as well. I think I do have a fair bit left, so I don't mind kind of taking my time with this one and not necessarily finishing it during the readathon, but it would be quite nice to read a little bit more of this week. And then Tomi is probably one of my high priorities because I started this 2 years ago, not exactly 2 years ago, but at some point during 2020, and it's taken me so long to get through. I read a little bit of it last night and tried to get back into it. I really enjoyed that last night, so I think I can definitely finish this within this readathon. I read over half of it, and because it's a manga, it should be a really easy read. The other 3 books that I've got that I would love to start are these ones, and the first one is Queen of Myth and Monsters, which I talked about in my last vlog as well. This one came out just before Christmas, so it's relatively new, and I got this Waterstones kind of special green edition. It's usually in a blue cover, which I'll pop on screen now, but I really like this, and my favorite color is green, so yeah, that's why I got this one. And this is the second book in the Adrian and Isolde series. It's a fantasy romance with vampires, which sounds really basic. It's actually so good, and the whole world building and everything like that is like my favorite thing ever. The next book that I'd love to start and finish within this readathon, because I've been saying that I wanted to read it for like a year now, is Lemon by Kwon Yeol-sun, and this is just a really short literary thriller about a girl who goes missing. I don't really know much more about it, but I've been absolutely loving shorter literary translated fiction at the moment, so I thought that I would add this to the TBR because that is definitely what I'm most in the mood for right now, which is kind of surprising to me because I thought that I would kind of stray away from this stuff this year, but no, I'm right back into it and I'm loving it. Just after reading Idle Burning, I just want to read all the books that are like that. So yeah, I thought this could be quite similar and a really fun short read. And then the last book on my TBR is this manga called Last Round Arthurs. This was a Christmas present from Tasman. She came over to my house on Christmas Day to drop off a package with some wine, this book, and a cute little bookmark. We both really love Arthurian legends and we love the TV show Merlin, so that's kind of a common interest of ours, and she knew that I would love this. So yeah, this is something that Tasman gifted me, and I'm really excited to try it out. I think there are 4 or 5 volumes of this one out, so if I like this one then I'll definitely be purchasing the next ones. But yeah, I just thought this would be a fun cute time for when I needed a little break from the longer reads. So yeah, that's everything. I think I'm gonna just get into reading now. I've already kind of wasted enough time getting ready. It's 12:25 now, so I'm gonna grab myself a cup of tea or a coffee maybe, and then I'm gonna decide which one I'm gonna read first, and I'll talk to you guys again when I have some reading updates. It is 3:45 and I've just finished my first read of this readathon. I feel super accomplished. I'm so glad that I picked this as my first book because it was really, really good and has just set up this whole 48 hours very, very well. I don't know what I'm going to rate it yet because I literally did just finish it, so I don't want to kind of jump the gun and give it a rating without like thinking it and like digesting what I've just read. But I really, really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed the first half a lot more than I enjoyed the second half, because if you don't know what this book is about, it is about an 19-year-old girl who was murdered and found in a park. She was hit on the back of the head and the murder was never pinned on anybody, although the police had some like major suspects. And this book kind of just follows the aftermath of that and the fallout of this young girl being killed and how that affected her family, but also the people that were accused and also their family members, and then just some of the classmates. So this book is told from 3 different points of view. The main one, I would say, is from the girl's sister, her younger sister, and then the other 2 are 2 other girls in her class at school, which is quite random, especially one of them. One of them feels like quite disconnected, kind of like it's just from a bystander who had no real like stakes in the matter. This book is very open-ended, so if you don't like reading a crime story that doesn't have like a clear this is who did it and how they did it and why, then you might not necessarily love this. But I kind of like it because I was formulating my own ideas of what had happened to her, and also there was another smaller mystery later in the book as well that I'm pretty sure I have a good idea what happened. I feel like you are supposed to think that, and if you've read it then you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, altogether I think it was written very interestingly, kind of different formats as well. One was almost like a stream of consciousness, a woman talking to a doctor or her therapist, and it was all just her responses. You didn't hear anybody else, and you're kind of figuring out what the doctor's saying and asking her. She kind of spirals as well, so that was really, really interesting, although those were probably my least favourite chapters. Off the bat, we had this first chapter where the sister is actually kind of attempting to write what happened in one of the police interviews. We're reading this thing that seems like this is what happened, but really it's somebody else's account attempting to write what they think might have happened in that room. So we don't actually know what was said. This is just someone's kind of imagination, which is interesting. So yeah, it was written in a very interesting way, which definitely kept me very engaged. I didn't take many breaks. I kind of did a Pomodoro timer and I had maybe 1 break for a bit of food and some coffee, but other than that I just read this whole entire thing in the early afternoon. So yeah, I'm feeling the high of finishing my first book. I'm very proud of myself. I think I'm going to put it through CawPile because I've this year started using CawPile and it's been really fun so far, logging the 2 books that I've read. Now I'm going to add my 3rd, and I'm loving seeing the stats change and rating each one and seeing if that's how I would have rated it if I just came up with a number of what I felt off the top of my head, if that makes sense, because one of them was pretty spot on. The other one I didn't necessarily like agree that I would give it that rating, because it's definitely not foolproof. It doesn't take into account every single aspect of a book and reading experience, but it is really cool and I'm excited to keep using it this year. So that's what I'm going to do now. It's a bit of a weird one. I don't know what the rating will be. I don't know what I'm in the mood for after that. That was a very, very weird book, but I kind of want to read something a bit more fun, a bit more lighthearted, I think, because that was very intense. What do I want to read? I'm definitely not going to read Letters to a Young Poet or Open Water. I'm also not in the mood for a manga, so maybe Queen of Myth and Monsters. I'm also going to try and read a book on my Kindle at some point and potentially an audiobook, so I'll keep you guys updated if I decide to choose something off of one of those. I think in about an hour or 2 as well, I'm going to do our first live reading sprints of the readathon. I'll hopefully talk to you guys very soon. Okay, hello everybody. So I did read a little bit, I think the beginning of the first chapter of Queen of Myth and Monsters, and I just don't think I'm in the mood for a fantasy romance right now. It kind of got straight into the smut and I'm a tad bit disappointed because I really enjoyed the first one because there was like quite a bit of slow burn, and I was hoping that it would continue with a similar vibe in the second one, but clearly not. So yeah, I'm gonna just pause that for now and I might pick it up tomorrow. I think if I start reading it during the day tomorrow, I might enjoy it more. So I've been charging my Kindle. My Kindle's on charge over there. And I was looking on the Kindle store just to see what's in Kindle Unlimited right now. And I've got two options. One is free, and that's the Foxhole Court book one. I've wanted to read this book for ages and ages, and it's never been free on Kindle before, as far as I know anyway. And so I feel like it's the perfect opportunity to start reading this book. It's not a book that's sold generally in the UK, in Waterstones at least. So yeah, it's kind of perfect to be reading it on my Kindle. So I have already downloaded that, but there is another book that I might prioritize above that one, and that's The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, which is book 2 in the Off Campus series. One of my goals this year, one of my reading goals, is to kind of make more progress with the series that I'm currently reading. By the way, this is such a silly angle. I'm trying to make hot chocolate right now. I've just heated this milk actually, and my mum for Christmas got me one of these chocolate bombs marshmallow melt things. Oh my gosh, it's got gold shimmer. Oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna be doing this right now. In 20 minutes, maybe 15-20 minutes, I've got my first reading sprint, which I've set up with me and my patrons, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I just need to pick which book out of those two I'm going to be reading. I've lost a little bit of time because it's past 5 o'clock now, so I have been faffing about a little bit by reading the beginning of Queen of Myth and Monsters and checking the Kindle store. Honestly, not my best moment in a readathon. Okay, so that was really hard to get into. I'm guessing this is the gold dust shimmer thing. Here is the chocolate bomb. Oh my god, this is so cute and Christmassy. Too bad it's already January. That's so shiny. Okay, let's go. Hopefully I've heated up the milk long enough. Should I? No, I'm gonna do 30 more seconds in the microwave. Okay, I think that is hot enough. Let's do this. Wait, I should probably show you guys from a different angle. Okay, let's do this. Oh my Hello guys, this is a look. Anyway, good morning guys. So it's the next day and I didn't update you guys last night because I was on my stream, and then I got straight into bed and just kept reading on my Kindle in the dark. But I didn't actually update you guys yesterday on what I ended up picking. So I did have a chat with my patrons on the stream, but I settled on the Foxhole Court, which I was pretty sure I was going to pick anyway, just because of the things that I said yesterday. It's just so intriguing to me. So what I didn't realize is that this is kind of like a contemporary sports gang kind of book. It's definitely very, very dark. There are some really heavy topics in this book, which I was not expecting. I just didn't really know what it would be going in. I thought it would be kind of like a fun sports kind of semi-romance, and obviously it's a series, so I have no clue where the heck this is gonna go. It feels like it could be just one book because I'm halfway through it now. I'm literally bang on 50%, so I'm kind of in the middle of a chapter, and I've had my breakfast. I had not one but 2 cups of tea. As you can tell, I've just showered, ready for the day, and yeah, I'm 50% of the way through this, so I'm very happy. I kind of wish that I'd read a little bit more maybe last night or woken up earlier this morning, because I definitely had a bit of a lie-in and I went to bed at a reasonable time, so I should have been harder on myself and not clicked snooze. But anyway, here we are. We've got the next 24 hours ahead of us. I'm hoping to get this finished this afternoon. Apparently I should be able to read it in less than 4 hours according to my reading speed, which honestly I'm so surprised about. This book is only 269 pages and I'm over 130 pages in. Like, how do I still have 4 hours to go? I'm so confused. But anyway, I'm quite enjoying it. Honestly, I don't think I would have predicted that I would like a sports gang related book like this, especially from a male's point of view. It's not the sort of book that I think I would like, but I'm actually really enjoying it and like really into it. It's basically about this 18-year-old boy called Neil Joston. His mum is dead, his dad's in prison, and he's kind of concealing his identity / on the run a little bit. He doesn't linger long in one place, and then he gets scouted to join the Foxes, the Foxhole Court, which is this college team who play this kind of, I think it's a made-up game, it's kind of like lacrosse / hockey, and it's very brutal, but apparently he's quite good at it. So he gets scouted for this team that is made up of like misfits and young adults from broken homes and stuff like that, and the dynamics are so interesting. There's a lot of kind of almost bullying going along, a lot of like intimidation, and I'm just so into it. Like, I really want to find out like where this goes and where these dynamics go, because I know that there's apparently a gay romance in this book, but there hasn't really been any hint of it so far, and we're 50% in, so I'm not really sure if that's going to be like a main part of the story or not. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised in the way that I didn't realize what this book would be, and I don't think I would have picked it up if I did know, but I'm really liking it. So yeah, I'm glad that I made this decision to read this book, especially over the Off-Campus series book 2. I think this is much more what I am into today than a romance, to be honest. So yeah, I guess that's my short update. I'm actually going to grab myself a coffee now, a small coffee, because I get fidgety leg every time I drink coffee or alcohol now. If I drink it too late in the day, I will definitely get fidgety leg tonight, which is such a pain. So yeah, I'm gonna make myself a small coffee just to keep me going this afternoon. I'm gonna do some like solo reading sprints. Good morning. So I have to apologize because I didn't do very well with the vlogging yesterday. I updated you guys and then I had just like a really chill self-care like afternoon, evening, and I ordered food. I did like the face mask thing you saw me do, and then I had a dance class at 8 o'clock, so that kind of cut into the evening. So around that I did read, and I ended up finishing The Foxhole Court last night. I ended up finishing it on my Kindle at around 12:30. The rest of it after I spoke to you guys was really good. We got our first match, so that was really fun. I feel like the writing style of the author was very suited to the sports element of it. Parts of the writing did like kind of irritate me though. The author refused to use like he or like she unless it was in the same sentence. So if it was the start of a new sentence, they would just like reuse the name again, which really started to irk me once I realized. So every sentence started with a name and it was really annoying. And Jamshed also pointed out that all of the sentences were super short. I don't know what it was, but all of the sentences were like quite stunted and they were all pretty much the same length. So it was kind of just describing what someone was doing, and then the next sentence would be the same and the sentence after that as well. So yeah, once I kind of noticed these things, they started to bug me a little bit while I was reading, until I got so into it that I wasn't really paying attention to the writing style anymore. So I guess that's my major criticism of the book, is that the writing could be a lot better, but I ended up giving the book 4 stars because I enjoyed it so much. I've never read anything like it and I'm so excited for the next 2 books. Like I probably told you guys, I got the first book for free and then the next 2 books in the series were both 99p, so I literally bought all of them once I was about like a third of the way through the first book because I knew that I was going to want to keep reading. It is such a good time. I definitely recommend it if you don't mind like the quite harrowing topics. Like there's a lot of drug use, talk of like parental abuse, violence. There's definitely some homophobia in there as well. And another criticism would be I feel like the author takes it a little bit too far, because I know that some of the characters are are supposed to be quite rough around the edges, and some of them are actually supposed to be like very unlikable, but some of the words that they use I think were a bit too far and like unnecessary. You'll probably get what I mean if you actually read it, but sometimes I was kind of cringing a little bit. But yeah, I reminded myself that this was written in 2013, which wasn't long ago, but also I feel like books like this have changed so much since then. I feel like if it was written now, it definitely wouldn't have those things in. So yeah, although I really love this book and I can't wait to read the next in the series, I think it's called The Raven King, I have to give it 4 stars because there were definitely problems with it. But yeah, that's my second book of the readathon, and we've only got like an hour or so left, so I'm updating you guys very, very late. I've read 2 whole books and they've both been 4 stars, so I feel like this has been a success so far. In terms of this morning, since I woke up, I've been reading Tomi, like the full collection, like big bind up Tomi. I've been reading this collection for so long. It's been over a year now, so I just want to finish it, and I'm currently on page 558, so I've actually got less than 200 pages of this left, and obviously because it's a manga, it's going by pretty fast. So yeah, that's how much I've read in the last like year and a half, and this is all I've got left. I feel like I should be able to read this in like the final sprint of this readathon. I'm actually going to hop on FaceTime now with my sister and potentially a couple of others, so I think we're all going to read together to end the readathon. Yeah, hopefully I won't get too distracted and chat too much because I definitely want to finish this, and I'm supposed to be going out to meet a friend in central London after the readathon ends. So yeah, I have no time to lose. Hi guys, so I finished the readathon, I finished Tomi, and I actually ended up going out with my friend, which is going to be in next week's vlog. So I'm popping in to do my least favourite job, which is wrapping up a readathon like this, because I feel like I need to say if I did well or not. And to be honest with you, I think I did do quite well. I feel like I could have read more, but I did read 2 full-length books and half of a fat manga, so yeah, I'm not disappointed with myself at all. So yeah, I finished Tomi and I ended up rating each story, just because I read it over the space of a year and a half, like I told you guys. I rated each story individually because it's such a long collection. I really wanted to remember how I felt towards each short story, and it definitely looks like I was enjoying it more when I started it compared to when I ended it. I feel like the stronger stories were towards the beginning and middle. There are a few very kind of weird and disturbing stories towards the end, and like not in a good way. Like I was not enjoying some of them. I even gave one of the short stories 1 star, and that was Babysitter. I just thought it was so effed up. I just didn't enjoy it, but I enjoyed a lot of the other ones. So basically, to figure out my rating, I didn't want to give it a low rating just because the stories that I read during the readathon were the lowest rated stories. So I put together all of the ratings and divided it by the number of stories to get kind of an average rating of what I gave it, and I think it came out between 3 and 3.5, so I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. So if you saw that, that's why, which I think is a good enough rating. I think it makes sense. This book was very, very mixed for me. I think it was slightly underwhelming just because I thought I'd be obsessed with Tomi, but I think I will definitely revisit some of the stories in here, the ones that I gave 4 and 5 stars. So I definitely think I'll get more enjoyment from it, and I will just skip the stories that I didn't like. But yeah, with that kind of review, that brings me to the end of the readathon and the end of this vlog. I'm so excited because reading this meant that I have finished my entire Junji Ito collection that I own, so I'm definitely planning on buying another one soon. I would love it if you guys would comment down below which one you think I should read next. I'm also definitely going to be reading the rest of the Foxhole trilogy. I forget what it's called. The trilogy isn't called that, but I'm definitely going to be finishing that trilogy and like carrying that on over the near future, so I'm very, very excited about that. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!